I am not imagining it. I am not. I keep saying it out loud, like a test, like if the words leave my mouth they will become measurable. I start with the simplest proof. I take the shop phone off the wall, the one we keep for suppliers, and I call my own number. My personal phone sits face down on the counter, a dead weight. I already know it is off. I watch the screen go black. I held the power button until the shutdown slider appeared and I dragged it. I even waited for the little spinning wheel to disappear. I did all of that because I need to remove every normal explanation. The wall phone rings in my ear. Once, twice, then the line clicks and my voicemail greeting answers. A second later my personal phone buzzes against the laminate. Not a ring, not a chime, just a hard vibration like something inside it is trying to kick its way out. The screen stays black, the vibration stops. My voicemail keeps playing into the wall phone, cheerful and recorded weeks ago, while my hands go cold. I flip my personal phone over. Nothing, no lock screen, no battery icon, no notification banner. I call my number again. On the third ring, my dead phone buzzes again, twice in a row and then stops. I'm still holding the wall phone when I realize my breathing has gone shallow. I hang up. I stare at the phone on the counter like it is an animal pretending to sleep. I tell myself it is a phantom vibration, a residual motor twitch. Stack, a failing component. Then the drawer behind the counter, the one with recovered devices, lights up. Not a whole drawer. One screen in the darkness. A pale rectangle under the glass, like a fish belly flashing in deep water. I step around the counter and pull the drawer open. A tablet I repaired last week is awake, showing a notification preview across the top edge. The tablet is not connected to a charger. The battery should be empty. I remember because the customer argued with me about it, insisting it had been fine. The preview reads, in plain system font, message received. The sender line is blank. The timestamp says 8:07. My wall clock says 8:06. I pick up the tablet. The glass is warmer than it should be. The shop is cold in the mornings, especially in winter, and the back room always smells faintly of solder and old plastic. Warm glass is wrong. I tap the notification. The messaging app opens to a thread with no name and no number. No avatar. The latest message sits at the bottom. Turn the key over. Do not look at the back room camera. My hand goes to my pocket before I can stop it. There is a key in there. Not my house key. Not the shop key. A single brass key with a simple tooth pattern. Smooth edges like it has been handled for years. It has been in my pocket since yesterday afternoon when I found it on the floor behind the counter and assumed it belonged to one of the old lock boxes we keep for high-value repairs. The key is warm. Not warmed by my body. Warm like it has been sitting on a radiator. Warm like it remembers heat. I pull it out and stare at it in my palm. The tablet screen stays awake, waiting. I try to laugh and nothing comes out. I am thinking of how ridiculous this sounds, even in my own head. A message from nowhere. A key that is hot. A tablet that should be dead. I look up at the corner of the ceiling where the back room camera sits. The lens is aimed toward the bench where I do board repairs. That camera does not record unless the motion sensor triggers, and even then it writes to a tiny SD card that I change every month. I installed it after a break-in last year, more for insurance than anything. Do not look at the backroom camera. My throat tightens because the message is too specific. It is not a scam text. It is not a random wrong number. I slide the key between my fingers and turn it over. The heat moves. It is not even. One side is hotter, as if the metal has an internal direction. The tablet buzzes again, and a new message appears. Now put it back. I stare at the words until my eyes sting. I do not want to obey. I do not want to participate in whatever this is, but my hand is already moving and I hate that it is. I slip the key back into my pocket. The warmth presses through the fabric against my thigh. The tablet screen dims. Then it goes black, like it has fallen asleep. No shutdown animation, just gone. I stand there in the open drawer, surrounded by other people's broken devices, and I realize I have just failed my own test. I set out to prove I am not imagining it, and instead I did what the message told me to do. The shop opens at 9. I have 53 minutes before the first customer walks in, and I know with a clarity that makes me obvious that if someone sees me like this, staring at dark screens and glitch my pocket, I will look unstable. So I did the next thing a stable person would do. I start documenting. I pull out my work notebook, the one with serial numbers and passcodes, and I write down exactly what happened. Timestamps, device models, battery status, the exact wording of the messages. I take photos of the tablet and the drawer with my personal phone. The personal phone is still off. I know it is off because the screen is black when I press the side button. Then it vibrates again. A short, sharp buzz. It feels like the vibration is in my hand bones. The screen stays black. The key in my pocket warms harder as if the vibration has stoked it. I whisper, "Stop it," to a device that cannot hear. My notebook page blurs because my eyes are watering. Not crying. Just that reflex you get when your body is trying to protect itself from something it cannot process. I go to the back room. The camera lens above the bench is staring. I keep my eyes on the table surface, on the soldering station, on the trays of tiny screws, on the magnifier. I refuse to look up. The bench computer is on, as it always is. I installed a forensic recovery suite on it for data pulls. Customers bring in phones that have been drowned, smashed, run over. Sometimes they do not even care about the device. They care about what is inside. I log in and open the recovery folder. The folder is full of exports from the last week, neatly named by date. Except there is one more. A folder named with tomorrow's date. I stare at it until my neck aches. Tomorrow's date is printed in the same format my software uses when it auto-names an export. I did not create it. I double-click. Inside are subfolders labeled with customer names. Names I recognize. A repair ticket number I wrote on a sticky note yesterday. A customer who has not come in yet. I sit down hard on the stool. My hands are shaking enough that the mouse skitters. I open the first subfolder. It contains photos. The thumbnails load in a grid. At first they look like normal phone camera shots. A dog, a dinner plate, a blurry nice street. Then I click one and it opens full size. It is my shop, not from the security camera angle, from eye level, as if someone is standing behind the counter. The photo is taken through the front window. The neon open sign is lit. The timestamp in the file metadata says tomorrow at 9:12, and I am in the photo. I am behind the counter, looking down at something in my hands. My personal phone. My own face is pale in the glass reflection. My mouth is open as if I am speaking. I zoom in until the pixels break. In the reflection, the back room door is open. Something dark stands in the gap behind it. Not a person, not a clear shape, just a density, like the air has bruised. My skin crawls. I close the photo. I open another file. It is a video. The thumbnail shows the repair bench. I double-click. The video plays with no sound for a second, then the audio clicks in, and I hear my own voice. Not from a call, not from a recording I made, from a bench. I am saying, I am not imagining it. The timestamp in the corner, embedded by the phone camera, reads tomorrow at 8:58. On the screen, my hands are in frame, holding a key. The key looks like a one in my pocket. I turn it over in my fingers, and as I do, the metal brightens slightly, not with light, but with that subtle shift you see when something heats. My voice in the video keeps talking. I say, it keeps telling me what to do. The camera swings up, as if I am about to point it at the back room camera. Then, in the video, I stop. I freeze. I whisper, oh. The camera drops, shaky, and catches the floor. On the floor, near the base of the bench, there is a second key, identical, and then the video ends. I yank my headphones off as if they burn me. The shop is silent except for the hum of the refrigerator that holds customer devices waiting for water damage treatment. I stand up and nearly knock the stool over. The key in my pocket is so warm now it's uncomfortable. I pull it out. It is not scorching, but it is hot enough that it should not be. The warmth radiates into my palm. I hold it up close and smell it, because my brain is trying to find a normal cause. It smells like metal and my skin. No smoke, no battery acid, nothing. My personal phone buzzes again, still off. This time the vibration pattern is longer, like an incoming text. The screen stays black, but I hear something, a faint tick from inside the phone body, like a relay switching. Then another tick, then a sound that is almost like a sigh. I set the phone down and step back. I am not religious. I do not use words like cursed. I do not blame ghosts. I fix broken things for a living. I believe in corrosion, bad solder joints, counterfeit parts, but nothing in my training explains a powered-off phone vibrating in response to a call, or a tablet waking without power, or a folder of recovered files dated tomorrow that contains footage of me doing things I have not done yet. I grab my notebook again and write down the existence of the tomorrow folder. My pen rips the paper. I want to delete the folder. I want to wipe the drive, but my hands hesitate, because the files might be evidence, and if I am losing my mind, evidence is the only thing that can push back. I scroll again through tomorrow's exports. There are more videos. One is labeled with my name. I do not label folders with my name. I click it. Inside is a single audio file. I hover over it for a long time. The key in my pocket, now back in there because I cannot stand holding it, presses hot through the fabric like a brand. I double-click the audio. My voice plays close to the microphone, breathy. I say, if you are hearing this, it means you did not listen. My throat closes. The audio continues. I say, it can message from dead devices. It can put files where they do not belong. It can make you prove it to yourself until you run out of proof. There is a pause where I can hear my own breathing. Then I say, do not look at the camera. A scrape sound follows, like metal on concrete. Then a quiet click. Then I whisper, it is warm. The file ends. I am standing perfectly still. I feel like if I move, something will notice. The shop bell at the front door jingles. I flinch so hard my shoulders hurt. No one should be here yet. I look at the front window through the doorway. A figure stands outside, just beyond glass, backlit by the gray morning. I cannot see their face clearly because of the reflection of the shop interior. They raise a hand and tap the glass twice. The sound is dull, like tapping a fish tank. The bell jingles again, even though the door does not open. My phone buzzes on the counter in the front room. I do not move. The bench computer chimes softly behind me. A new file appears in the tomorrow folder. I turn my head just enough to see the screen without fully facing it. The file name is a timestamp. Tomorrow at 9:12, the same time as the photo of me behind the counter. The key in my pocket warms so fast it makes me gasp. The figure outside taps again. This time, the taps are in a pattern. 2, pause, 1, pause, 2. Like someone trying to remind me of something. Like someone knocking in code. My personal phone buzzes again, longer, insistently. The screen stays black, but I hear that internal tick, tick, tick. The wall phone, the one I used to call myself, begins to ring. Not the usual ring. A lower tone, slightly warped like the speaker is full of water. I stare at it. The caller ID display lights up. It shows my own number. The ringing continues until it feels like it is inside my teeth. I step toward it, then stop, because the tablet in the drawer behind the counter, the one that should be dead, lights up again. A message preview blooms across its screen. It says, do not answer. Look up. My stomach drops. Look out means the back room camera. The key burns against my thigh through the pocket fabric. Outside, the figure puts their forehead to the glass, as if listening. The wall phone keeps ringing with my own number. The computer in the back room makes another soft chime. Another file appears. Tomorrow at 9:13. I am trapped between instructions that contradict each other, between devices that should be dead and a future that has already been exported into my morning. I reach for the key, because my hand needs to do something. The moment my fingers close around it, the warmth spikes, and I feel a vibration in the metal itself. itself, like it is humming. The wall phone stops ringing. The shop falls silent. Then my powered-off personal phone speaks. Not through the speaker grill with a ringtone, through the black glass, as if the words are coming from behind the screen. It says my name. It says it in my own voice. And then it says, turn around. I do not want to. I can feel the back room camera behind me like an eye. The key is so hot now it hurts to hold, but I cannot drop it, because my fingers have tightened around it on instinct. Outside, the figure's hand slides down the glass and leaves a smear. The smear is not from condensation. It is darker than that. My phone, still off, says, you wanted proof. The bench computer chimes again. Tomorrow at 9:14. The back room camera makes a tiny mechanical sound, a click like an iris adjusting. I feel the urge to look up, not because I choose to, but because something in me is being pulled by the same invisible thread that made me turn the key over. My neck begins to lift. The key hums, and the message thread on the tablet updates itself. One more line appearing with no sender, no number, no reason. It says, if you look, it will know you can see it. My chin rises anyway. The camera lens waits above the bench. I am halfway to looking when the front door handle turns from the outside, slow, deliberate, and the bell rings once like a warning. My phone says, now. I blink, and the screen goes black, but the file timestamp for tomorrow at 9:15 appears anyway, and my pocket feels suddenly empty, like the key is no longer there.